Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-733-6860. 800-733-6860.
Welcome to the Turnpike Sports Spotlight. Dave Weishottle with you. Have you ever walked onto the gaming floor of a casino and seen brand new games that you've never seen before? You ever wonder how those games get into the casino in the first place? Well, our next guest is an expert in that. Angel Espino is the owner of a company called Casino Gaming Development, and they have won awards for some of the games that they have created and developed for casinos. And we are lucky to have Angel Espino on the line to tell us all about Casino Gaming Development and the incredible new games he has in store for the gaming industry. Angel, welcome to the show.
Dave, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm excited to talk about what we do and what we're about. And like you said, how do we innovate and how we create? It's just my favorite subject to talk about.
I was telling you off the air, I mean, here at the show and we're gaming lawyers, we always get people sending us their ideas for table games they invented. But you're actually living the dream of a lot of people who want to get into the business of table game design and game development for casinos. I'm just curious, how did you become interested in casino game design and development?
I got interested because I'm working in the industry, so I'm still a dealer, a craps dealer, blackjack dealer at Ameristar Casino in Blackhawk.
Wow, okay.
And I've been in the industry, in the gaming industry, since '97. So I also I got a Bachelor of Arts degree in design from the Art Institute of Colorado. So I was able to merge both things together, my design degree with my career in the gaming industry, and it was a perfect marriage.
Tell me something about your company, Casino Gaming Development. As I said in the intro, it's an award-winning company. From last I read, you're a 4-time Best New Table Game Gold Award winner, and that's really something special in this industry. Tell us about the company, the team you work with, and what you do for the gaming industry.
Yes. I started the company in 2016. I had a game that I created at the time, and it was an award-winning game. And working in the casino industry, I was able to meet a lot of great dealers, great coworkers, and in the last 8 years, I was able to cherry pick some of the best talent in the industry that walked through our casino. So some of our coworkers, Kathy Lou, and then Tommy T, we call him Tommy T, the human calculator. And then Colin Faint. This team is a great team of dealers. They're just so talented. There's so much passion in the gaming industry. And I was able to, little by little build a team and just get to know these great dealers that have so much talent and passion. So as I put this team together, we're able to bounce ideas and create games. So when I have a gaming idea, I run it through them, or when they have a concept, they run it through me and they run it through the team. So that's how it all started. It's a company that I put together, and I put a team of dealers together. We traveled the country and pitch ideas, pitch the games. We go to table games conferences, G2E, and things like that to sell our concepts, sell our ideas.
I'm glad you touched on that because I'm very curious how you get your ideas for some of the games you come up with. I know you have a lot of experience in the casino industry. I mean, are you walking through the gaming floor and say, we can do something different with that game? Or are you sitting around a big conference table and everyone throws out ideas? Do you wake up in the middle of the night and scream out, I have an idea for something called barbecue baccarat? And by the way, that's a real game, and we're going to talk about that pretty soon, and it's really cool. But how do these ideas come up for you? I mean, how do you create these games?
Oh yes, all of the above, everything you touched. It's a team of 4 or 5 dealers. Megan Zippy also is a dealer. She's recently joined us, and so we're 5 dealers doing 40 hours a week of R&D while we're dealing games. So we have our ear to the ground on what players like, what they don't like, what are the catchy phrases that are being used, what are the trends. You can see different trends come and go with certain games. So we have our ear to the ground, number one. And number two, sometimes we get together around a bar and just throw out ideas and kind of nitpick the idea and then also there's been times that I'll wake up, like you said, I'll wake up in the middle of the night with a concept, or I'll be driving home from work and all of a sudden I have an idea and I'll pick up the phone, talk to one of the team members and go, hey, I have an idea. It just hit me. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything. But what helps is that each dealer, each one of us, we're dealers and we're doing 40 hours a week of R&D. We always have our ear to the ground on what's going on in the casino floor. We kind of pick up a little bit on what players like about a game, what they don't like. So we take all that information, put it together, sit around a round table and just brainstorm. And that's how we get to create the games that we have.
Now, what is the process of getting these games you create to the casino floor? I mean, do you approach casinos individually? Do you go to conferences? I know you just mentioned the Global Gaming Expo, or G2E, as everyone calls it, that was just held in Las Vegas a couple of weeks ago. And that's a place where a lot of deals get done. But I'm curious, how does the game that you create end up on the casino floor? Is there a set process, or is every game different?
Every game's different because every demographic is different. Every gaming district is different. You have higher limits in certain states and lower limits, or is it tribal? Is it mom and pop operation, or is it corporate casino? So, and the gaming demographics change. Everywhere you go, you might have baccarat super popular in Las Vegas, but not so much in Colorado, or vice versa, right? So what we do is when we create a game, we definitely go through, I created a 12-step process on development from ideation to installation. And when we go through this thorough process of creating a game, once we have a concept, we go to like the table games conference. That's kind of like a warm up. That for us is like we pitch the game to the table games conference is focused just on table games. So that kind of gives us more of a focus group from operators and get some feedback. And then that prepares us, 8 months later, or 6 months later, we're at G2E where decision makers go. The operators, the GM, table games managers, VPs, they make decisions. So that's where we pitch the game and we fine tune the game and we make sure we have all the math, the GLI, the rules of play, dealing procedures, everything. And that's where we pitch the game and we try to sell it out there and try to get it into properties.
Well, I want to ask you about some of the new games that you developed. I already said the name of one of them, Barbecue Baccarat, which is a great name, by the way. Where did you come up with the idea of Barbecue Baccarat?
Oh, this is a perfect example of how we approach game development. Kathy Lou, one of my team members, and she kept hearing this phrase barbecue while she was supervising the Baccarat pit. So she was supervising. She kept hearing barbecue. She calls me frantically and she's like, Angel, I keep hearing barbecue. Have you heard this? And I'm like, oh, I've heard it, but I don't know what it is. So she's like, it's when the results are 7/6 win in Baccarat. They call barbecue. Players say barbecue.
Oh, okay.
So we did some research and we found out that in Cantonese, I believe, when you say 7/6, it sounds like saying barbecue in that language. So 7/6 also sounds like saying barbecue. So that carried on all the way to the U.S. and we kept hearing barbecue. So this is where the casino gods shine on us and blessed us, is that when we did research, we wanted to create a side bet that with the outcome 7/6. But we got lucky when we researched and we did some math. We were able to create a non-commission baccarat game with the 7/6 banker win becomes the non-commission mechanism on top of being able to create side bets around it. So the whole game evolves around the 7/6 outcome. Not only is a non-commission mechanism, but it's also we're able to create 5 side bets around the 7/6 outcome. And that's where the barbecue name came from. So we created the logo, and the logo looked beautiful that's where it got its name.
I love stories like that. Give us an idea how you would play a hand of barbecue baccarat, and give us an idea of how it would differ from the traditional baccarat that a lot of people play.
Yes. So the good thing about the game is that we didn't change any of the structure of the game. Okay. So the whole integrity of the game stays. But certain games have a non-commission mechanism. And what I mean by non-commission is usually on the banker side is favorable, a little favorable than the player side. So the house has to take a little bit of commission or vig per se back. So certain games have a non-commission mechanism. So for us, it's the 7/6 banker win. It's a push. On the banker side. So the game is played like any other baccarat game, 8 decks. But what's neat about our barbecue side bets is that you can bet that there's going to be a 7/6 outcome on the banker side.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes. So we have different payouts. So for example, you can bet that there will be any kind of outcome, meaning on the player side can win with 7/6 or the banker side. You can also bet that it's going to be a 3-card, which we call big barbecue on the player side or on the banker side. If there's a big barbecue with a 3-card win 7/6, that pays 160 to 1. That's a big payout.
Yeah.
And right now the trend is big payouts. Players love a jackpot like that. So, you bet $10, that's $1,600. You bet 100, that's 16,000 on one hand. So that's what we're trying to do, is entice the players to chase that 7/6 outcome. And it's also the non-commission mechanism where you can insure your bet. So let's say, for example, someone's playing and they're betting the banker and there's a 7/6 banker win. Well, your hand's a push, but you can hedge it by betting that that's going to happen and you still become a winner. So either way you win. So it's kind of like an insurance bet at the same time.
Now, another table game that Casino Gaming Development created is something called 3-Shot Poker. How does one play 3-Shot Poker? Because I took a look at it from some of the material you sent, and it seems like it'd be really fun game to play in a casino.
Oh, yes. I'm glad you brought that up because we believe that 3-Shot Poker is the one that's going to put us on the map. 3-Shot Poker is a multi-action 3-card poker game.
Okay.
So, and I picked up that game because I was dealing to a couple, and I kept watching this lady playing a carnival game, a poker variation game, and I kept watching how she was playing and why she was doing what she was doing, and I kept asking her questions, and that's what sparked the interest to create a 3-card poker game, but it's multi-action. So the player gets 2 cards and what's called 2 hold cards, and there's 3 community cards. You don't play against the dealer, so that's a great mechanism. Yeah. That I like that. You don't play against me. The player has 2 cards, and there's 3 community cards. So with your 2 cards, you're trying to make 3 independent poker hands. So the 3 community cards become independent. So your 2 cards, you might have 2 hearts, and you're hoping that one of the 3 community cards might be a heart, and you have a flush. But you have 3 ways to win. So you have 3 opportunities to win. And that game is doing so well. We have it in Flamingo and the Harris in Las Vegas. So that was one of our big bucket lists to try to get into the Las Vegas Strip. And we've been there. November would be a whole year that it's been at the Flamingo and the Harris in Las Vegas.
It seems like at one point in time, any form of poker was very popular with casino goers. Is it still that way? Is poker a very popular game, and variations of the traditional game usually do well in a casino?
Yes. Yes. And the key to that, it's still a growing it's still definitely a growing. The type of games that are growing are the poker variation games. They're the popularity is growing. Blackjack is kind of dying down. But the key to developing games in poker is that the next generation of players, it has to be super simple. Mm-hmm. Players got to understand it within, you got to be able to pitch the game in 2 sentences, or the players have to learn it in 1 or 2 hands. And so that's a big obstacle.
One game that I know a lot of people, my friends, play is blackjack, and I think you've created a game that I think takes blackjack to a whole new level. It's called Pocket Rockets and Ace Buster Blackjack. Before you get into the nitty-gritty of the game, what was your idea in modifying the traditional game of blackjack? What did you see that could make the game better and make it more engaging for people who play it?
Yes. So the good thing about Pocket Rockets, it's played like regular blackjack. So all we did is create feature bets.
Yep.
One of the reasons I created Pocket Rockets is because I kept hearing players getting upset that they were getting really bad cards. For example, like a 6-2. So you have an 8 or 5-2. You have a 7. And so I created a side bet where you get paid even money if you have 11 or less. So if your first two cards as a blackjack player are a total of 11 or less, you win even money on your side bet. So players kept complaining like, "Oh, I'm getting a 4 or a 5 total, a 6 total." Well, now you win on that bet. And what's really neat about that side bet, that feature bet, is that if you get 11, or less, you get even money. If you get an ace, you get even money. If you get a blackjack, you get paid on the side bet like blackjack 3-2. But if it starts paying you more if you have pocket aces or suited aces, and the payouts start going up and up. Now, on the other side, on the ace buster bet, mm-hmm. you're betting that the dealer bust on their hand. And and the reason we call it ace buster is that if there's an ace involved in the dealer's hand, every ace is a multiplier. So it'll pay you 5 times, 10 times, 100 times, or depending on how many aces are involved on the dealer side.
I love the fact when you were describing Pocket Rockets and Ace Buster, you said, we listen to the customers on the floor. How important is that when creating a game? I think that's so important for any casino personnel or anyone who's interested in designing a game to actually hear what the people are saying who are playing the games.
Oh, it's advantageous being working 40 hours a week in the gaming floor, and there's 5 of us. So now there's 200 hours of R&D every week that we put in, and just listening to what the players really like, what entices them, what they don't like. Also, is 50% of the battle is making sure that, okay, don't do this, don't do that. Certain players don't like pushes on a payout. Like, well, this game, if you have this pair between this pair, it's a push. A lot of players don't like that. So, and operators, I've heard operators don't create games that have a lot of pushes. It's a waste of time. And so we listen to every little detail. So when we create a game, we kind of take those notes and apply it to a game, make sure we do this or make sure we don't do this. So being in the gaming industry has given us definitely a hands up, an advantage when it comes to game development.
You mentioned that people love the big payouts. We do a show once a week called Beating the House, where we talk about all the casino and lottery jackpots that happen throughout the week. And it seems like the table game where people are winning the most jackpots, for my opinion, is Pai Gow Poker. I mean, I even started trying to learn how to play Pai Gow because I'm hearing about it so much, not only from casino players, but from the casinos themselves. And you have another game that you develop for casinos based on Pai Gow. It's called 5-Card Pai Gow. Tell us how you developed that game, because over the past couple of years, Pai Gow has become so popular with players.
Yes, that's an interesting story. I didn't even know how to deal, or I've never dealt or played Pai Gow. And Tommy and Colin and I were doing a launch. We're launching a game in New Mexico. So we went out there to install 3-Shot Poker. And while we were on the property, they had Pai Gow. So I told Tommy, can you teach me how to play? He's like, dude, this is exciting. You got to play it. It's fun. Your money lasts a long time because there's a lot of pushes. So as the dealer was trying to explain it to me and Tommy, I was so confused because there's 7 cards, right? 5 for the high hand, poker hand, and 2 for the low. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, well, I've heard of different houses, different properties have a different what's called a houseway.
Mm-hmm.
The houseway is how you structure the 5-card poker hand and the 2-card poker hand. And to give you an example, in our gaming district in Colorado and Blackhawk, 3 properties have 3 different houseways. So if you're a dealer,
okay.
Yeah, if you're a dealer and you go to our property and you go across the street, there's a totally different way to deal the game. And then you go to another property down the street as a dealer, there's a completely different houseway. So it's so confusing. So I went home and I kept thinking about it and I told Tommy, he's like, why isn't there a 5-card poker, 5-card Pai-Gow hand? Because it's a 3-card poker hand and a 2-card poker hand. Mm-hmm. And the houseway is very simple and it could be universal. So anywhere in the world, the game's going to be played one way, and it's not going to be complicated. So the math, the casino gods blessed us with the math. The math came out beautiful, and so now you can play 3-card poker on the high side, on the high hand, and on the low hand, it's a 2-card poker hand. But here's where it gets even better. Every player gets 5 cards. There's no jokers involved, so there's no wild cards. So when the player gets 5 cards, that's a 5-card poker hand. It'll be the first time that a Pai-Gow game gets connected and progresses with poker games, like Texas Hold'em games, sure, or your other poker variation games. It'll be the first time it's going to be connected to a progressive system because every player gets 5 cards. Mm-hmm. And then we created a 5-card poker hand feature bet. You can win on your 5-card poker.
So are side bets an important part of your game, just like it is in traditional Pai-Gow poker?
Yes, we have a Pai-Gow dealer. You can bet on the dealer Pai-Gow hand, or you can bet on the player that gets a Pai-Gow. We also created an insurance bet. So as a player, let's say you're a high roller, you're betting 10,000 a hand, but the dealer doesn't qualify. The dealer must have a higher. If a dealer has a 10 or less on the low hand on the 2 cards, then it's a push. But as a player, you can put insurance money that pays you some very healthy bets up to $100 to 100 times to 1 on your insurance. So you can bet that the dealer's not going to qualify, so you can hedge your bet at the same time.
One way I'm learning how to play Pai-Gow poker is through online casinos, because I live here in New Jersey and we have real money online casinos. I'm just curious, when you develop games, do you mainly develop the games to be physically put on the casino gaming floor, or nowadays do you think how my game can be developed for online casinos? Is that something you have to think about nowadays?
Oh, that's $1 million question. I specifically expressed it to the team that everything we create has to be adaptable and playable in the online space. So every game that we create, it's got to be so simple that when we put it online, any player can get it and understand it on their own, because they're not dealer assisted, right? So when you click online, you open the app, you got to be able to understand the game easy on your own, because there's not a dealer kind of breaking the game for you, breaking it down for you. So our goal is to bridge the gap from the brick and mortar space to the online space. Nice. So I'm glad you mentioned New Jersey. We're on the queue right now with 3-Shot Poker.
Oh, okay.
We're going to launch it first in New Jersey, and that's what we're pending right now to get it going. So New Jersey would be the first time you'll be able to play 3-Shot Poker. In the online.
Just let us know when it's on, because I am definitely going to try that out here at home in New Jersey. I'm glad you brought that up. So now that we've gotten everyone interested in the incredible games that you created at Casino Gaming Development, what's the status of these particular games right now? Are some on the casino floor? Are you negotiating with some casinos? Have you made any deals that you want to tell us about with regard to these games? And where can people possibly play your new creations? I'm excited about the New Jersey one. I gotta tell you, I can't wait to try that.
Oh, we're excited. We think that game's going to do 3-Shot Poker. We're hoping first quarter of 2025 will go live. 3-Shot Poker is definitely going to spearhead us into the online gaming space. So in the brick and mortar, where 3-Shot Poker is live at Flamingo and Harris. It's also live at Firekeepers in Michigan. It's also live in Saratoga Casino in Blackhawk, Colorado. And soon to go into Eagle Mountain Casino in California.
Wow, great.
Pocket Rockets is live. Pocket Rockets Blackjack and Ace Buster is live in Eagle Mountain Casino in California. And Three Shot Poker is also live in Mexico. We broke ground in Mexico in Caliente Casino, a couple of properties in Mexico.
You went international. Look at that.
Yes. And after G2E, we have interest in the Philippines, Costa Rica, Panama.
Nice.
And so we might go into South America also and overseas.
When it comes to game development, are there certain things that are popular one year and that casinos really focus on when choosing games? I mean, for 1 year, casinos want to see more poker games, or another year, casinos want to bring in more blackjack games. Or have you found that if it's a good game and people enjoy it, casinos want it on their floor?
Yes. What's interesting about your question is that the shelf life of a casino game, from what I've heard, is an average of 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So every 5 years, something changes. But this industry is it's always changing, either from a casino floor, an independent property, or a gaming district, a gaming area. In Black Hawk, one game can be popular and it hits all the properties. National, we go to different states, and for some reason, one game is more popular in Midwest than it is on the West Coast, or vice versa. So that's, and in a way, that's good, because at least there's always opportunity for all our games in somewhere in the U.S. Or now that we're going international. But it's ever changing. The industry is always changing, and operators are always looking for the next big thing. The biggest struggle, the biggest battle is, when you have a new game, an operator, the first questions they ask is, where is it? Where are you placed?
Sure.
Because they want to make sure that the game has been proven. So it's always hard to break ground or break into the industry with a new game, or a new game to break in the industry, because it has to prove itself. Mm-hmm. And operators don't want to take a chance. It hasn't been proven, but then you can't prove it until somebody takes a chance. So it's definitely a struggle. But once you break ground in a property, a well-known property, people listen, and they're like, well, where are you at? Oh, we're here, we're there. And like, okay, now I'll give it a chance, because now what are the numbers, or how's the performance, or now they can play it themselves and get a feel of the game themselves.
So what's next for casino gaming development? What do you have in production that you would like people to know about? And what kind of plans do you have when it comes to game development for the coming year?
Yes, for the coming year, our projection in the next 12 to 24 months, we're going to double our library. Mm-hmm. Right now, we have Pocket Rockets, Ace Buster, Three Shot Poker, Barbecue Baccarat, Five Card Pai Gow, and then the next one we're going to roll out is Pocket Rockets Poker. It's a Texas Hold'em variation game. Yeah, and then we have Majestic Sevens is another poker variation game with wilds. That game is going to go off. It's going to be amazing. We have side bets, a crap side bet, roulette side bet, and then we're creating another game which is a mix of baccarat and dice together.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, lunar dice. We have another blackjack side bet. It's called Bottom's Got 'em. Our goal is to be able to have anywhere between 10 and 12 games in our, what we call a CGD Max site license. And by having our site license, you'll have 10 to 12 games to choose from, or all of the games, and we'll be able to fill a whole blackjack pit with all our games, and we'll be able to hit the Pai Gows, the Baccarats, the blackjack, the poker variations, and roulette and crap side bets.
Angel, we're running out of time, but do you have a website that you can tell people about if they want to find out more about casino gaming development? If you have any social media addresses so people can keep up with what's going on with casino gaming development?
Oh, yes. Our website is www.casinogamingdevelopment.com. You can learn more about our games, and there's links to play our games on our website. We are also on Instagram, Casino Gaming Development, and then and then on LinkedIn, of course, you can find a lot about us on LinkedIn. Just search us and Casino Gaming Development or Angel Espino on LinkedIn.
Angel Espino, owner of the award-winning company Casino Gaming Development. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about the new games you created for the casino industry and how game development industry actually works. You always got something great in the works, so please come back on and keep us updated about what's happening with casino gaming development. Thanks so much for your time.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was an honor. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
That'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.